Eric, should I go ahead and get this kicked off?
Yes, please, Daryl. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining today's event. We really appreciate your participation, despite the circumstances that keep us from celebrating together in one room. My name is Daryl Knox. I'm a CPA and I'm a partner with the Aldrich Group of companies. We've been serving Salem since 1973, and this is my 25th year working in the Salem community. It certainly has been the most unique of all of those 25 years. I also have the pleasure of serving as the board chair for SEDCOR. And I'm sad that we're not able to meet in person today. I miss seeing all of you. I miss the opportunity to congratulate our winners with a warm handshake. I miss the great lunch that we usually enjoy at this event and all the local foods that SEDCOR serves at this event. My cup of water will not compare to the Marionberry pie that I had last year from Willamette Valley Pie at this event. So I'm pretty sad about that as well. But despite the fact that we're meeting virtually this year, we tried to create a format where we can celebrate with one another as much as possible. So as a reminder, if you're having any technical difficulties, and I apologize for the background noise here that I'm having, please remember to use the chat function if you have technical issues during the meeting. And I want to thank everyone for doing their part to participate in supporting the mission of SEDCOR. SEDCOR's membership, they invest in our mission and our community. The people that represent those members and our other stakeholders that serve on our board of directors, for the board members that serve on our executive council and the extra time and commitment that takes, and probably most importantly, the staff. I know the staff of SEDCOR have worked tremendously hard this year to keep the wheels of commerce and economic development moving when all the forces around us seem to be headwinds against that. And so I just appreciate their hard work. And also all of the valuable business and community partners for your support of SEDCOR, including elected officials, those civil servants who work tirelessly to make sure that our region is thriving. SEDCOR's mission is to support the Willamette Valley's most unique and vital industry so that families, communities, and cities in our region can thrive. And by listening and understanding to the problems and opportunities that those industries face, we help them transform their ideas for solutions into reality. We work with local governments and state agencies to attract businesses to our region and to keep businesses in our region, and especially businesses who will provide good jobs and good sources of stable tax revenues for decades to come. Plus, we connect numerous partners to foster the next generation of homegrown entrepreneurs, and that's new. Working with startups is kind of a new thing that SEDCOR has been doing, and I think that's something that's really important to a vital community as well. I want to thank the people who nominated the organizations that were considered for these awards, and I want to thank the selection committee for reviewing and vetting those nominees. I would say if there's a theme for this year, it's been just a tough year with unexpected challenges, but through it all, we've witnessed a lot of remarkable resiliency, creativity, and generosity from people and organizations throughout our community. And each of the nominees and winners of today's awards did incredible things. They built new products, they pivoted their businesses, they formed and solidified new partnerships in order to find creative solutions to the onslaught of challenges that we face this year. So we're thrilled to be presenting these awards. Over the years, PGE has been a tremendous supporter of SEDCOR, sponsoring our events, serving on our board of directors, and infrastructure for power is usually a critical element to the success of business in our region. And PGE works closely with SEDCOR staff in our efforts to attract and retain businesses in our region. So PGE is sponsoring today's event, and I'd like to introduce Dane Nestel, Director of Sales at PGE, to say a few words on behalf of PGE. Thank you. Dane?
Thank you, Daryl. I really appreciate that. My name is Dane Nestel, and Daryl, I have to tell you, you're like the first person in 20 years that actually pronounced my name right the first time off of a script. You should get an award just for that. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is I don't have a lot of slides, but the bad news is all I have is dad jokes, and my daughter thinks they're horrible. So we're just going to roll with that. So my job here at PGE is to be the director of sales, and that means that I oversee multiple outreach teams. So our largest customers, we call those the key customers overall. That's a KCM driven team. They have their own customer manager. Also, we have an energy efficiency outreach team that I oversee, and they're going out there and driving leads to the Energy Trust for energy efficiency across our businesses overall. Then we also have the business development team. And that's sort of the team that's the tip of the spear in terms of supporting businesses that are looking to grow, that are looking to come to our service territory, and also to help us thrive in advance. And so we have on that team, Teresa Haskins, who is a board member at SEDCOR. Apparently I'm Teresa if you look at the screen, so there's two today. But Teresa Haskins, who has been supporting SEDCOR for some time now, and also Melissa Rogers. And collectively, PGE, Teresa, Mel, and myself, we would like to say thank you to everybody here. We are so proud to be serving you, to be your energy partner, and to be supporting you neighbors, but also the communities that we're all supporting overall. Is there a question? All right. So, this is really important for us, meeting the future together. There's a lot that's embedded here from just what we've gone through collectively in 2020, but also what we see as priorities for the out years for us. You might have seen recently that Portland General Electric recently shared our net zero greenhouse emissions by 2040. So we call that the net zero by 2040 goal. And that means that all of our energy will be decarbonized from our fleets to how we actually operate by the time 2040. And we're calling that an Oregon kind of energy. And what this means for you that are in the Marion, Polk, and Yamhill regions is that you're going to see by 2030, 60% of our vehicles will be electric. You're going to see more storage, renewable generation projects, much like those that are already home to the first 5 megawatt project of the Salem Smart Power Project of the McGill-Hurst industrial area in partnership with the state of Oregon. But also you're going to see more resiliency from us. You're going to see that we're going to be investing in our infrastructure so that we are actually having a more self-healing grid. So if there is an outage, we detect it, ideally we prevent it, and then we're making those changes very quickly. So those disruptions to your businesses are minimized. And we're going to be looking for more solar generation projects, and also making sure that we are keeping the system secure and safe and resilient. Security is a big issue if anybody's been following the news, and so that's top of mind. It actually just came up in a meeting I was in this morning. So ever vigilant, but also ever resilient is kind of where we're heading. Next slide. So again, PGE is incredibly honored to sponsor the 2020 SEDCOR Annual Business Awards. 2020 has been an incredibly challenging year for so many of us, and we have great respect, immense respect for the commitment and drive it took all of these businesses and organizations to move through the tough and incredibly disruptive times that were the pandemic, that are the pandemic, to also serve and support our communities and neighbors when the wildfires and smoke sort of swept through our communities, to lead businesses and employees with a can-do attitude that provided leadership, frankly, when there was a lot of ambiguity this year. And it's interesting, if we look at that and if we step back, that's exactly what we started off talking about. It's an Oregon kind of energy, and really all these businesses, you make it come alive. So on the last slide, it's a thank you, and we really mean that. We're honored to be a partner. We're honored to be a sponsor, and we're proud to be part of the community that we're trying to support together.
Thank you so much, Dane. We really appreciate the support of PGE, both for our organization over the years, but also, we're thrilled to count Teresa and Melissa as part of our team at SEDCOR, part of our economic development team. So always very supportive and helpful, and also just great to work with. So thank you for your continued engagement. I'm Eric Anderson. I'm the president of SEDCOR, and just wanted to go through a quick year in review of the things that we've been doing this year. So the words that we use is we leverage public and private partnerships to successfully grow, retain, and attract jobs and capital investment. But over the last couple of years, I think we've tended to use a new phrase for that. In other words, SEDCOR, we know a guy or we know a gal. Really, that's our role in how we operate here, is to try to recognize what the opportunities are for businesses in the area, what the issues are for businesses, and how we connect them with people that can help them. And, I may be using outdated technology here as a reference, but we all have pretty significant Rolodexes, whether they're online in our phones or the old-fashioned ones that are rolling on our desks. Daryl went into, can you go back a little? Thank you. Daryl kind of went into what we do. The business retention expansions, most of what we do here at SEDCOR, recruitment, entrepreneurship, and community development type work. Really, the community development work is a lot of that's tied to education and really counting schools, connecting schools with our employers to really help build a workforce for the future in the community. We also spend some time with strategic planning and economic development planning for communities, and even get into convening to help downtowns strategize and understand what the tools are out there. And of course, other duties as required. But before I go into kind of the specifics here of what we've been doing the last year, I would be remiss if I did not take time to introduce and thank our SEDCOR team, who, without exception this year, showed their knowledge, passion, expertise, and just interest in innovation in the work that we do and the work that they do every day. Without their kind of positive attitudes and willingness to try some new things and adapt to a pretty changing world in this past year, we wouldn't be able to be reporting what we're doing. So I'm very thankful to have that crew with us. Nick Harville is our Marion County lead. Jenny Kistler is our Director of Operations. Michael Miller, our communications and marketing guy, that has really done a great job with our social media this year and getting our message out and your messages out as businesses in the community. Alex Parascavez, our Polk County lead, and also our Ag Innovation Hub manager, and Abhishek Stone from our Yamhill County person, who has taken the lead in doing economic development work in Yamhill County and throughout the region. We do really operate as a team, and I'm always pleased to see how well people lean on each other for advice and counsel, and really know to our members know that we have a great group of people in doing this work. Next slide, Michael, please. So I mentioned other duties as required. This year really started with a lot of work around COVID response as this came up. We took an early leadership role, working with disseminating information on the federal and state resources that were being very quickly cobbled together and released to help businesses. Our core group, Coordinated Organizations for Recovery Efforts, was with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, Willamette Workforce Partnership, Chemeketa Small Business Development Center, and our Regional Solutions and Business Oregon partners from the state. As part of this work, we also developed a personal protection equipment database highlighting businesses who invested in retooling to provide these resources that were needed. And we promoted that manufacturing here in the region with not just a business forum, but we're continuing to work with a growing industry cluster to help these businesses and going into the new year. And finally, we work to encourage and develop a regional approach to the business relief resources that were being released, both with the Oregon Community Foundation and Business Oregon funds. This regional program ended up being administered largely through the Mid-Willamette or the Willamette Workforce Partnership, and attracted over $2.5 million in business relief services. And was really pleased to see Abisha investing her work in the Yamhill County program, and then using that to kind of help base Marion County and some of our regional work on that. So nicely done on that. Then also wildlife recovery, with Nick really taking the lead on a lot of this as far as Santiam Canyon issues. The whole team's been working on, with various state and county agencies on wildfire recovery efforts, working with businesses, communities, and also infrastructure development. This is a very long-term process, as I'm sure you're all aware. We've also been participating in various regional initiatives from FEMA and from the governor's office. Nick's done a great job coordinating the Santiam Rebuild Coalition. Just started with about a dozen companies, and within a few weeks and even a few days, was growing immensely, and now has well over 130 businesses attached to that. We were out there pretty early on with a community meeting, working with DEQ to help provide information on their cleanup. We had 93 people in attendance at the State and High School football field. And at that meeting, our board member and executive council member and former leader, Rich Duncan, and Rich Duncan Construction announced a project that they're working on to rebuild the City Hall Public Safety and a Community Center for the Canyon in Detroit. And literally at that meeting, over 50 businesses took a pen and put their names and what they could donate and what they could do, and right there on the spot. It was a very, very inspirational moment to see people coming together like that. Did you skip a page, Michael? Or there we go. Thank you. As far as our retention and expansion efforts go this year, Chang2, a company here in Salem, a Korean foods manufacturer, announced a $17 million expansion. And we've been working with them to identify sources of food and sources of meat and vegetables to be able to use in their products as they finish their facility up this year. Discount Nursery Products here in Salem has chosen a site in the Salem Business Campus for their facility. They're going to be putting in injection molding equipment and actually onshoring the pots that and containers that they produce for the nursery industry here. So it's a nice supply chain business for us. Alex took the lead in our application for the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub to the U.S. Economic Development Administration. We were approved over the summer for a nearly $470,000 grant over the next 2 years. And this will allow us to expand the work that begun in Polk County and City of Independence, and working with SEDCOR, we can expand that to the entire 3-county region. So that's going to be continues to be an exciting opportunity for us. One great way that kind of shows the I know a guy or I know a gal spirit of SEDCOR is Yamasa USA was looking for opportunities to both cut down their carbon footprint as well as bring in some local content into their product. And they connected with SEDCOR, and Abisha reached out to Rudenclaw Farms in Amity to see if this could be a possibility. And kind of long story short, the Rudenclaws have a contract, and will be growing 100 acres of red wheat, for Yamasa going into 2021. And hot off the presses, Abisha took the lead in a project with Business Oregon funding a high impact opportunity project. It's called the HIOP program. This will be used to create, test, and launch an open source enterprise resource planning project with Buildable Works LLC of McMinnville in the lead, We're also working with our partners at McMinnville Economic Development Partnership and the Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership on that project going into 2021. As far as the recruitment side, while it did get kind of quiet in the beginning of the year, as the year started to come to a close, we've had quite a bit of activity around recruitment, both just getting the information out and the requests for proposals that we get from our partners at the state and other sources, but also just watching some of these projects come to fruition. Last year around this time, we were meeting pretty regularly with a company called, with a project called Project Norway. And, shortly after these meetings, it was announced that the project that ended up being Project Norway was actually the acquisition of Norpac Foods by Lineage Logistics. And Lineage has also gone on to purchase Henningsen Cold Storage as well. And that Norpac project has kept all of us busy in various ways, particularly Nick, and we'll get to that a little bit later. We were pleased to be part of a groundbreaking for Pacific Northwest Properties, building a 70,000 square foot spec space here in Salem. We're looking forward to seeing Oregon Meadow Foam Growers continue their project. It's a cooperative of 40 growers here in the area, but they've always built they've always refined their oil that they make out of meadow foam out in California. And this project will be bringing that refining operation here to Salem at Mill Creek. We've also had to kind of try some different things this year in working with the Oregon Economic Development Association. Rather than hopping on a train or a plane and going up to Vancouver, BC, we participated in what was probably the first of a few virtual prospect missions where a team of us, including Teresa Haskins at PGE, met with entrepreneurs and businesses in the Vancouver, BC area who were interested in long-term presence in Oregon. And then finally, we've talked about this the last couple of years. We're still working pretty much on a weekly basis, connecting with Mint Valley Paper. They're famous last words, but they're nearing the finish line as far as securing funding for their Dallas plant. And we are, their financing folks did not seem to take seriously when I said that we really needed to have an answer for our annual meeting, but we just keep hoping by the end of the year that will be in place. As far as entrepreneurial efforts go, our venture catalyst, Mike White, worked with over 100 entrepreneurs and small businesses, providing technical assistance and also putting on events and boot camps and networking events. One of the great things that he accomplished this year was developing the Mid-Valley Seed Fund. It's our first kind of seed fund for entrepreneurial pursuits. And he raised $50,000, doubling his goal. And we had, I think, 15 businesses take an interest in applying for those funds. And as you can see on here, the three that were able to take advantage of this were Hot Sauce, a local hot sauce company here in Salem, Siliprin, a silicon 3D printing business, and Little Sue's, a kids Little Seuss, a kids culinary education program that's working out of here, which I think just as an aside, their timing for what they offer, which is helping kids learn about food and nutrition and how to cook, and doing this at home with parents and siblings has become a godsend for a lot of parents in the last several months. And finally, as we mentioned before, we were able to attract funding from the U.S. Economic Development Administration for the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub. That we actually included in that was funding for our venture catalyst to match our Murdoch Foundation grant. So we're able to keep Mike here in the region through 2022. Michael, can you go to the next? Thank you. Just to kind of go through some of the highlights of our county work. Nick is our Marion County Business Retention Expansion Manager. He worked with the county on getting the first 2 rural industrial improvement exemptions approved in the state of Oregon, one for Marion Agriculture Service and one for Pacific Northwest VegCo, which is ended up with NORPAC facilities. And speaking of NORPAC, this time last year, we were starting to pull together some of the growers to help facilitate networking and information sharing. And Nick's growers group really helped us identify what some of those issues and concerns were of the growers as they faced real significant market changes here in the region. And as NORPAC has transitioned to new ownership, Nick and SEDCOR have been working closely with them on various improvements, particularly at their facility in Brooks. Iverson Family Farms and FS Oil, we've seen really great continued growth from them. Both helped us out with being part of our ag breakfast this year to try to educate people on the opportunities and challenges of the hemp industry. But very exciting to see their growth here in Marion County as well. And just recently, they were able to secure Global Good Agriculture Practice, Global GAP certification, which is the first hemp producer in the country to receive that. And Ferris Lumber here in Marion County, they're continuing to innovate, really becoming more of a tech industry than a wood products industry in many respects. And Nick's been working very closely with them as they continue their mass plywood products facility growth and investment. And also Watershed, another local company, made pretty much rain gear in the past, and we've watched them become a real leader in the PPE manufacturing industry, not just here locally, but also in the state and around the country. In Yamhill County, Avishai Stone's our economic development manager for Yamhill. And as I mentioned before, she had done great work with putting together her, or the loan program, or the grant program rather, for COVID relief back earlier this year, which, man, does feel like years ago, but back in March, which got $2.1 million in business support out to the region, to Yamhill County. She did some great work with DCI, a company that was really looking for how to attract and retain workers, and what resources one of the resources they felt they needed was childcare. And working with DCI, Avishai was able to work with the city of Newburgh and Yamhill County to get funding to put this project together for a childcare facility. And as a result of that work, she's got several other projects in that daycare industry lined up, all really helping to support workforce development. Online Northwest, Kathy Tate's one of our board members. We were pleased to be able to help her out with the Yamhill County Rural Broadband Expansion Project with some funding from Yamhill County to fund it. We've been working with the folks in Newburgh and the Commercial Development Company, who are the new owners of the former West Rock Mill site. And we're going to have an exciting few years as they clean up and redevelop that site and into economic development opportunities and community development opportunities for Newburgh and the region. And also, one of the things that came up was businesses trying to find workers. I know we hear a lot about the challenges with COVID and difficulty with people finding employment, but we do have a lot of employers that were looking for workers. And Avishai took the lead in contacting some of the farm labor folks to see if there was some opportunities to get some people to come in off season for agriculture, but to help make some manufacturers make some products through the wintertime until the next ag season comes up. Next page, please. And finally, with Polk County, as I mentioned, Alex has taken the lead in doing the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub. And really what was exciting is this is really starting to kick off now, but one of the first side benefits of this is we were able to make a connection between a Polk County seed grower, grass seed grower, and two Midwest autonomous drone seed spreading companies. They were doing some demos of cover crop spreading in Iowa, and through our connections with the Ag Innovation Hub, Alex was able to facilitate that transaction. This past spring, our first Ag Innovation Challenge design sprint was held. Over 70 people participated. Interestingly, having to pivot to an online presence allowed us to actually attract people from around the country into this program. And we're getting ready to do the second round coming up in February. We've been working very closely with the City of Dallas on their Economic Opportunity Analysis Work Group, as well as on their Economic Development Commission. And SEDCOR was able to sign a contract this year with the City of Dallas for economic development services coming into the new year. And finally, our partner, Indy Commons in Independence, they expanded their space, adding a community kitchen, which not only going to give some rentable space to entrepreneurs and startups, but this also really ties in nicely to the ecosystem that we're trying to support with the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub. And on the horizon for next year, just mentioned the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub, but you're going to see a lot of activity with that for SEDCOR around the region. And in February, our design sprint with the Technology Association of Oregon. So keep an eye out for that. I mentioned the HIOP program, but we'll be working towards the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning Project with our partners out of Yamhill County, McMinnville, and with OMEP. And we're launching in early February the Mid-Valley Business and Industry Resource Alliance. We're partnering with Chemeketa Community College, Small Business Development Center, Willamette Workforce Partnership, and OMEP to really do a much more forthright job of promoting our resources as a one-stop shop. Most of us are actually theoretically here in the same building. And we're bringing in OMEP, and I think we may even end up with other partners that are looking to kind of have a united front of resources for businesses in the area. Sure, there's going to be much continued engagement with the wildfire efforts in the Santiam Canyon and wildfire recovery. And we also kind of on a staff side here, we'll be looking to work with the board on our strategic plan update for 2021, a long-term strategic plan. And as a lot of people have been asking, the return of the SEDCOR golf tournament, hopefully. You know, we've got our masks, and hopefully we'll start to see some opportunities to get out and can reconnect with our membership and the communities at that fun event. So I think that's all I have got for our year in review and what's up ahead.
All right, thanks, Eric. Again, my name is Michael Miller. I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator, and it is my privilege to be able to present this year's awards. So I saw most of you in the last day getting to drop off some awesome trophies made by GK Machine, who did a great job on them. And yeah, so we'll get into it, and Jenny's going to unmute you when you're called on, and we have a couple minutes to kind of share a little bit about yourself and your project and what you got going on. And most of all, you know, I just finished my first year with SEDCOR, so it was a lot of learning. And the big thing I learned was people in the traded sector, they've got a lot of really great things. And one of those is just a creativity and an energy about what they do. And it was so cool to see, and it was so awesome to be able to show up and drop off an award. So we're going to start with the agribusiness of the year. And basically the agribusiness of the year is presented to a business that has demonstrated excellence in business and champions the significant role and promising future of agriculture in our economy. And you're going to hear a lot about agriculture and our economy over the next year, I'm sure. And the winner of that this year is Marion Ag Services Incorporated with Tom Wimmer. And Marion Ag Services has been serving farmers, nursery, greenhouse growers, and wholesale fertilizer resellers since '76. They employ 115 full-time employees at 5 facilities in St. Paul, the whole St. Paul area. They provide customers with agronomic consulting, fertilizers, crop protection, soil amendments, application, transportation, seed processing, sandblasting, equipment, painting, sand services, and a full service retail store. So they basically do everything. So if Tom could be unmuted and say a few words, that would be awesome. Congratulations to Tom and his whole team who I met yesterday.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. I just want to show you a little bit this wonderful award here that Michael dropped off that GK presented us. Very beautiful trophy and very unique. It's going to be a nice addition to our office here. Want to introduce Jeff Freeman's on the screen too. He's one of my cohorts here at Marion Ag Service. Want to let you know that he's here, and we're Marion Ag Service. We're just blessed to have a knowledgeable, enthusiastic, dedicated team, and we try to provide and do provide a positive and safe environment for our employees, customers, suppliers, and our communities. We've been members of SEDCOR since Nick sought us out to work with us on our last expansion at our dry fertilizer plant over at Broadacres. And he's worked with us on applying for and receiving that rural development tax exemption through Marion County. And we really appreciate all the hard work and effort that he put into that project. You know, it's one of those things, we weren't even looking for it, and Nick just popped out in the middle of nowhere to help us with that. And so that's just one of the unique things that SEDCOR does. They come out and they jump in and help you. And Nick, Alex, and Abisha and the whole SEDCOR staff has been very eager to help our business in any way they can to help make our business successful. And with that, you know, we really look forward to continuing our partnership with SEDCOR in the future. I just want to thank the SEDCOR team and you know, the nominating and judging panel for this really incredible award. We'll try to live up to those standards again in 2021. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. We have a big silent clap, big silent virtual clap from everyone, which is great. So the next award we're happy to present goes to the Business Partner of the Year. And this is given to a company that has exemplified the best qualities of corporate citizenship by contributing significantly to the community and to the successful operation of SEDCOR programs. And this year, we are very happy to present that to Willamette Workforce Partnership. This year, in partnership with us, SEDCOR, Marion County, and some other partners, they put together an application for state funding of a regional business grant program. WWP stepped up to host that program. This turned into a multi-program offering of over $4.2 million. In addition, they hosted the City of Salem's grant program and others coming through the state. Whatever it was, they were willing to step up to with little to no administrative funding, and they pivoted several times to the immediate needs of the region with an ever-present mindset of how can we help. So congratulations to Willamette Workforce Partnership. And I believe Kim is going to be accepting the award and saying a few words. I hope. Kim, you around?
I can see her, but she's muted.
Jenny, if we can get Kim unmuted, that'd be great.
Okay, how about now?
Perfect.
Okay, sorry, I'm having issues with audio today. So thank you very much. Again, I want to show you these fabulous awards. I was stunned when I saw it last night. So just absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. And I think I appreciate the words, Michael. And what I absolutely have to say is this was a team effort. We've got some of our team members on the call today, but you know, last March I was on calls, and as we all were trying to figure out what we could do to help make a difference and how to respond. And we have absolutely leaned in. So I want to say, I want to just mention all of the team members. Gary Mueller is our Director of Business and Administration, and particularly with these Business Oregon grants, he has just done yeoman's work. So he has stepped up in ways that he never expected to and has done just a great job. Dean Craig, our Director of Business Services, Susie Gibson, also on our Business Services team, Julianne Major made sure all the money got out the door, and Veronica Rojas also helped manage it. It was absolutely all hands on deck and has been for like the last 8 months. We have touched, probably, this number changes regularly, 700 businesses in the 3-county region, and have managed to get out the door about $5 million, which is just a huge amount of work for our small team. And that does not count the money that we've actually been working with Polk County to get out as well in a different capacity, another 125 businesses and $1.2 million. So I feel like we have been able to pivot and step up and support businesses in a way that has just been critical. And we couldn't have done it without all the support of our partners and the full WWP team. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim. We really appreciate it. And big silent golf claps from everyone. The room would be rumbling right now if we were all together. So thank you for everything. So the next award is our Community Leadership Award. And this recognizes the outstanding leadership of an individual who has demonstrated substantial involvement in community-based projects that contribute to improving life, the quality of life with the public benefit in mind. This award celebrates dedication to community service in our region. And this year, that person, that winner is Commissioner Craig Pope from Polk County. And while they didn't have funding to provide grants for struggling businesses, Polk County did use CARES Act money to tackle 2 challenges that have been exacerbated by the pandemic: access to broadband and access to childcare. And with a $1 million contract with Philomath-based provider Alyrica Networks, internet coverage in the county will reach at least 90% of residents by the year's end. In 2019, Polk County was identified as a child care desert by the Oregon Child Care Research Partnership. But with limitations imposed on child care providers, most providers in the county did not reopen. So Commissioner Pope pushed for the establishment of an emergency child care fund of $500,000 to help providers with the costs of new regulations and allow them to reopening, alleviating much of that burden. So a big congratulations to Commissioner Pope. And if he is on, I'd love for him to say a few words.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. Thank you, SEDCOR. Thank you for the team. Wow, 2020, right? And this is, I really appreciate the recognition. It has been a fascinating year for Polk County. And again, we struggle on a lot of these issues that we work on because, you know, our funding is usually pretty small, and it makes it even tougher when you're in a pandemic. As Michael talked about the Alyrica project, we invested $1 million of your money into a magnificent business that has done some incredible work over 3 months to build out an expansion of their network to supply very high functioning broadband, wireless broadband to nearly 98% of Polk County's rural constituency. So to do all of that, and this includes building towers and putting out a lot of their infrastructure needs in a 3-month period is quite incredible. And what's even more incredible is that they had the courage to commit to that and step up and say, we'll do it, we'll get it done, because as most of you probably know, we were required to have all that money out the door from CARES Act funding by the end of this month. So they did that. Additionally, we used some of the CARES Act dollars, up to $400,000 now in improving our child care position, opening more slots, over 250 new slots for working families. And our Board of Commissioners realized that with parents having to teach from home and needing to have more access to broadband, that was a primary focus where we needed to invest in the community. And then additionally, for the working families that are still working, they needed to have more opportunity for childcare slots. So childcare has really gone through a really difficult time. And then finally, I would point to our business assistance program. So we used our video lottery funds initially, about $100,000, and committed to paying for the licenses for restaurants and bars at the end of this year. So any of the businesses that were still solvent, still had an active license, we would pay for those for 2020. And that's been very successful. We probably had more responses from people over that, and these are $700 licenses and permits. And then lastly, our partnership with Willamette Workforce Partnership and SEDCOR, both organizations have stepped up to help Polk County distribute its $1.255 million in CARES Act dollars to our businesses. And we have 172 businesses that are going to benefit from that. And we'll have a press release hopefully soon going out about that. They just wrapped up that work this week. And the beneficiaries haven't been notified yet, but really tough work when you look at, somebody drops $1.25 million in your lap and says, go put it on the street, make it work. And there's no rule book. And so each county has had to make up, their plan as we went along on this $55 million state investment. So that's some of the flavor of what we've been through this year. And then finally, I took on the responsibility of being the point for the board on our public health program and working directly with public health, not only in Polk County, but through the state, and trying to help get the best possible credible information out on the street to people so that they understand what they need to do and what this COVID-19 disease is really all about. So that goes on every single day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig. Congratulations. Thanks for everything you do. The next is our Community Service Award. And this is given to an organization that provides services to the community and who exemplifies the highest business ethical standards. And this year, we have the privilege of presenting that to Solid Form. Solid Form is always the first company in line when it comes to giving back to the community. This fall, their team assisted Habitat for Humanity on 4 various build days. They say Solid Form is committed to redefining right fit career paths for the next generation of workers. And to pursue the mission, they have created a really cool project called Rising Together Wine. And the proceeds of all of that are donated to offer scholarships in skilled trades, which is something that we value a lot at SEDCOR. So big congratulations to Solid Form. And if a representative, I think Devin is his name, if he or someone from his team is on the call, we'd love to hear from him.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, my name is Devin Paolo. I'm the president and co-founder of Solid Form. We're extremely humbled, that there's so many people doing amazing things out in the community. So for us to receive this recognition is just a little bit mind-boggling, but we appreciate that. Part of our core purpose and core vision is to build great communities and multiply opportunities for leaders in skilled trades. And we couldn't do that without all the amazing partnerships that help us do that. We started a vocational endowment fund a few years back with the intention that it could be an avenue for multiple people to support what we're doing and support skilled trades. And the support has been phenomenal. Michael mentioned the wine project we started, and we approached some of our partners in the wine industry, and they ended up donating 100% of the wine for a great Chardonnay and a great Pinot to this project. So 100% of the proceeds ended up going to scholarships. This year we pivoted a little bit and took some of that money and started creating project-based learning kits. We delivered them to schools this year because when you look at vocational and CTE programs in a distance learning environment, it mainly consists of kids watching safety videos and welding videos and takes away the hands-on learning experience. So so we met with teachers and built these project-based learning kits where we sent a bunch of rocket engines home with middle schoolers. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but it should be fun anyways. And so, yeah, we couldn't do this without partnerships and people like MEDP. Scott's on here, working with Abisha on grant committees. You guys are all doing amazing things, and really appreciate the honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Big round of applause from everyone. The next award is our Entrepreneur of the Year. And this is presented to an emerging small business that has developed a new idea, product, or service into a viable, competitive business, and they advance the industry and the economy through their development. And this year, we're excited to give that to La Familia Cider Company. They are a great local cider company. They use their grandmother's recipe to make a really unique product. This year, the company built and opened their cider tap house in downtown Salem, partnering with Azul's Taco House to develop a really cool collaborative space for both businesses. They work with local Sparrow Furniture and Xena Forest products to create these really cool wooden tables and tasting trays. Overall, just a really exciting company that uses local products to make a local product and experience. So congratulations to La Familia. If someone from La Familia can jump in, Jose or JJ.
Yep. Thank you, SEDCOR. My name is JJ Gonzalez. Our goal at La Familia Hard Cider is to become the Corona of the hard cider world. I was raised here in Salem. We believe in Salem. We actually hired as many local companies that help build our tap room. So next time you're in town, we invite you guys to come visit and also carry our ciders if your business allows. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, La Familia. So great. Definitely have their cider, eat their tacos, do it together. It's the best. We appreciate what you guys are doing in downtown. The next is the 2020 Innovative Product. And this is given to a company that has developed a new product or process which is on the cutting edge and who advances the industry and the economy through its development. And this year, we get to present that to Watershed and their True Blue Protection. So when PPE was desperately needed, our local hospitals couldn't find it. Russ Monk and his team retooled their rain gear factory to make isolation gowns, and so cool. I'm gonna have him explain it because he can do it better than I can. Please, Russ Monk, if you're here,
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your project and accept your award. Congratulations.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I woke up one Friday morning in late March and said, we're a big body form manufacturing company and the Valley is desperate for PPE. Why don't we retool? So I called our state representative and said, who the heck do we talk to? And they said, well, as coincidence would have it, we will be meeting with Salem Health at 1 o'clock. Do you want to bring up that you would be interested in talking to them? At 1:15, I got a phone call from Carl Wright, the head of procurement, and he said, we're interested. I said, well, the best thing you could do between now and 4 o'clock when we could meet is tell me what you currently use and what you love or hate about it. And we're a design company. Let's work on it. So at 4:15, we met. He gave me the working concepts. There's a couple of pieces they really hated in them. And over the weekend, we worked on coming up with a shape with our design team. Monday, we handed our working prototypes to the hospital. And by Tuesday morning, all 4 departments had signed off on it. And by Friday, we were actually producing PPE gowns. We didn't know what we didn't know to start with, so we pulled a gentleman by the name of Dr. Lloyd Hubert. He's a retired doctor that's also a customer of ours, and he helped guide us on what to do or what not to do in the material forms. We were able to acquire about 150,000 yards of material out of the Carolinas, to get started. And then that was not available at all. We were competing against the entire world for availability. So we're an innovative company. We actually invented our own fabric. And from that point, we've actually produced over 500 miles of gowns, about 500,000 in total, and still going. And mainly our mid-valley hospitals down in Corvallis and Santiam, out in Staten, and you know, our Salem Health and the local folks that way. What we realized is this should not be a national problem. So we reached out to Senator Wyden's office and Kurt Schrader's office and said, we need to look at this as a strategic material instead of just a product, and we need to make PPE locally. So I'm really happy to see SEDCOR, you know, leading the charge and being able to make a PPE cluster that we could all enjoy together as businesses and make that happen. You know, many hands and many hearts have made this happen. The idea was the easy part. And then you have to be able to spool it up and take it to production. And in a COVID environment, you have to spread out the production in a way where you can't be climbing over each other. So we had to get really creative on that part. And then we also had to innovate for a couple different avenues with different customers on what it would take to make it work for them. We created a new product line called True Blue Protection, and we think it's going to have legs and go forward. And if I get my way, we'll be making cover gowns and the like here in the Valley, working all together with our local companies. Honored to receive a lovely award. You know, I was shocked when we found out that we were nominated and won. That was quite the surprise. And, you know, there's just been so many people that have touched this. And it's just my way to say thank you to everybody that touched it. And thank you very much for the nomination and the award. We're honored to be part of this. And, you know, protecting our frontline folks, whether it's firefighters or policemen or soldiers, and now all the frontline is our frontline hospital workers. It's just an honor to be part of that and to protect them. So thank you, SEDCOR, and thank you, everybody, as well. And be well, everybody, please.
Thank you, Russ. Next is our Manufacturer of the Year. And this recognizes an outstanding manufacturer that is making world-class products, creating job opportunities, and strengthening our community. Since my audio is a little rough, I'm going to let him explain a little bit of their project, but a big congratulations to Yamasa Corporation USA. So if Koji is on, I would love to have him say a few words about what he's up to and a little bit about the Red Wheat project.
Hi everyone, my name is Koji Shiraiwa from Yamasa USA. We are soy sauce manufacturing in Salem, Oregon. And thank you, Michael, for your introduction, and nice to meet you this morning. And also thank you, SEDCOR, for this great opportunity. It was a roller coaster year for us as well due to COVID. A lot of our business, actually, we sell our soy sauce to restaurant business. So you can imagine in April, our business just plummeted to less than half of revenue, even in March and May. But amazingly, from June, our business picked up really strongly. And right now, we're looking at probably doing the same amount of business that we did like last year, potentially a little bit more. So we're very grateful that we were able to keep up our business. Yamasa has been in the Salem location since 1994, and we've been growing the business. Soy sauce market in the U.S. is growing every year, so we're in a good place. And then I was relieved that we are coming back right now. And then I got this little Christmas present this morning. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. The project we were working on was because soy sauce uses a lot of wheat and soybeans. So when I was just driving in the Eastern Oregon and also the Valley side too, and I saw the wheat field, and I was just thinking, why are we buying our wheat and soybeans from Midwest? I mean, they were so far. We spent a lot of trucking costs and of course all the carbon footprints issues. So, but I didn't know where to go to. So I ended up reaching out to SEDCOR, and Abisha was able to help us introduce to Yamhill County farm called Rooting Claws. So, but first meeting was not that great because they were saying, well, the type of wheat that Yamasa needs, it doesn't really do well in Oregon. So I thought that was the end of the project, but amazingly, these Bruce and Haley were able to go beyond and find a right variety that suit our need, and plus it will grow in Oregon. So they did tests on their own, and they came back and say, hey, but you know what? I found this variety. It may work for you. Boom, we tested it. Everything worked well, and now, like Eric said, we just contracted for 2021. And I would really look forward to working with local businesses and grow the business here on. So anyway, I'd like to thank Helen and Bruce from Ludigan Farms for doing what they professionally and amazing job with finding a new variety of wheat that works for Yamasa. I also want to thank Eric and Abisha of SEDCOR. Abisha also helped us back in March when there was a shortage of PPE. We have some protective gear at a factory. We were looking where to donate, so she actually introduced us to Salem Health Hospital, and we were able to donate some of our PPEs to them. That was great. So that was again a SEDCOR connection, I guess. And lastly, I also want to thank everybody at Yamasa factory here. We produce the best soy sauce in the United States. I can assure you because I licked so many soy sauce so far. And they're doing a great job, work hard. Even with this tough year, they were just, working really hard. So I really, really appreciate our staff as well. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this wonderful award. Look forward to growing more business locally together. Thank you.
Thank you, Koji. We have one more award. So last but not least is our Outstanding Public-Private Partnership. And this recognizes an outstanding cooperation on a project or initiative with public benefit in mind. And the winner of that award this year is Hampton Lumber. So if there is someone from Hampton Lumber could, or from someone from the city of Willamina could speak to that project, that would be fantastic.
I've been unmuted. Thank you. And thank you for this wonderful award. We've been in Willamina since 1942, almost 80 years now. The sawmill was purchased in 1942 by my grandfather, and we've been trying to work in that little area there for the longest time. And it's amazing when you have people who are interested in working together, and the city now is so much different than it used to be. So for us, this is a wonderful public partnership that we have going on, public-private partnership. So I'm thrilled to be able to do the things that we kind of come up with different crazy ideas. And I'm the idea guy, and then the sawmill guys kind of figure out how to make it. So I'm super pleased with what we've been able to do. We have some workout facilities that we created around the pond that we donated for the city. And the guys just made stuff out of, tubular steel so that it couldn't be destroyed. And, they're so innovative and creative that I just give them the ideas and then away they go. So this is a wonderful thing for us. It's a great honor. I really appreciate the honor. And just thank you so much for the recognition. We plan on being around for another 80 years. So I'm telling my kids they better get their boots on and get to working.
Thank you, David. So I'd like to hand it back off to Eric. He's going to share a really fun project that we've been working on that I believe really exemplifies a bit of what makes the Valley just so special. And Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. One of the things we've talked a lot about agribusiness agriculture in the region. One of the things that we realized this year was how important, not just from an agriculture perspective, but how the region's agriculture is really the heart of several economies, several industries here. Everything from equipment manufacturing to processing to warehouse and distribution, cold storage. And we had a visit last year during the previous year during harvest season. We went to Crosby Hop Farm, and I think this all started to come together when we saw that DK Fab equipment was working on the harvesting and processing of the hops, and we started talking about how they sell to 3,000 customers around the country, around the world. And anyway, we use that hop as an example. I mean, this could work for hazelnuts, it could work for cherries, it could work for a lot of the products that we grow here. But I think what we wanted to do was help explain the intricate supply chain that we have, and really what makes the Willamette Valley unique, both from the fact that we grow 170 crops here to all the things that drive the economy as a result of that. So I want to thank Michael for helping lead this, and we'll show the video now that we put together for the hops.
To make the beer you love delicious, and this hop lives here in Oregon's Willamette Valley. How did it get here? It's here because of all the industries and people working together so closely. First, this hop is grown on family-owned farms all over here. It gets dried here, then stored here. Hops get delivered to breweries all over the world, or to a local brewery like this one here. Brewers work their magic, adding locally grown ingredients like wheat, honey, fruit, and even CBD to produce beer here. The beer gets put in kegs, cans, and bottles with labels created by graphic designers who live here. Those cans, bottles, and kegs get shipped to bars, restaurants, bottle shops, and grocery stores constructed by companies based here, built with lumber that is grown, harvested, milled, and treated here. So the next time you enjoy a beer, turn your mind to the hop and think about all the entrepreneurs and innovators who got it from here to here. The farm, machinery, processing, storage, shipping, brewing, bottling, and branding. All that so you can enjoy it here, here, and here. All possible because of everything we can grow, produce, and build here in Oregon's Willamette Valley.
So we're going to be using this in our marketing, both from an education perspective, but also to help sell this region on, to processors, to various businesses in the supply chain. We've already started sharing it with potential prospects here. So we're pretty excited about this. And we also got a thumbs up from the people in the beer industry that, so I thought that was particularly important that the folks at Crosby and other folks were happy with it. So I want to follow up and wrap everything up here. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for attending today and kind of sharing all this good news with respect to our award winners. It was an honor to read through so many nominees of so many businesses and business leaders in the community that we have the fortune to work with on a regular basis. But selfishly, it's always nice to be able to be on these nominating committees and review such great news and great things happening here. So congratulations to our nominees and congratulations to our winners. We're really proud to be working in a region that is producing such wonderful stories of vitality and innovation. Also want to thank PGE for their support today, and it's our sponsor. Also do want to certainly thank GK Machine for very cool awards. We're really pleased to kind of walk our own talk and have our products made in the region for this purpose. So I'm glad to see the award winners holding them, and hopefully they'll be standing out in a good spot in your offices. do want to thank the membership of SEDCOR and our board, board members that are present here particularly, and also our executive committee. I'm thankful for the leadership that we have of our executive council on a monthly basis to be sure that we're keeping on track and helping us and advising us on all the kind of complications of trying to do economic development in a region. So thank you all for your volunteer time and efforts and support for the work that we do. With that, one final thank you to my SEDCOR team here. I have the pleasure of working with a great group of people that we don't get to see very often, except for now in these kinds of scenarios. So I look forward to maybe having another opportunity to get together in the near future in person. But it's always a pleasure to hear such great things about the things that are happening in the region, because I know our team is so fully involved in making many of those things happen. So once again, thank you for tuning in today for this. Hopefully we'll be back in person next year with awards and pies for Daryl. So Daryl, thank you for your leadership. We'll get you a pie somehow, and wish everybody the best of the season. Happy holidays, and stay safe and healthy. Take care, everyone.